Hello YouTube, I'm Tyler with a Hobby in Development, and in this video we're going to talk about realistic heat staining on weapons and other related parts. So one of the things that I commonly see that's done incorrectly in relation to heat stains on weaponry is a lot of people will start from the tip of the weapon, moving back towards the chamber of the weapon with the hottest part towards the tip. However, weapons and engines create their most heat where the origination of the projectile is, where the explosion happens in the case of conventional weaponry or similar effects. For example, tau weaponry is generally considered to be laser weaponry, but it originates back in the chamber of the gun and then travels down a barrel. So you're going to see the blue, the most severely affected metal from the heat, is going to originate more towards the chamber of the weapon and move outwards in that direction. Similar thing happens in relation to engines and exhaust piping, except there's a little bit of a difference. You're going to get the blue effect more towards the engine block, traveling out, transitioning to like a purple, and then a brown traveling away from the engine block. But then due to incomplete combustion, a lot of the time what you're going to have is the reverse happening from the actual tip of the exhaust moving towards the engine as incomplete fuel reignites and burns a little bit as it leaves the exhaust and travels back that way. So I'm going to put a couple of examples in this video and then we'll move on to a painting demonstration where I'm going to show how I do this on some of my weaponry.
So if you look at this particular example here, you'll notice that the blue, signifying where the most heat occurs, is going to be closer to the arm and the chamber of the minigun here, the Gatling blaster. And then as you're moving away from it, you get that purple and that transition into the brown. It's important to note that this type of effect is not signifying a gun that's actively heating up. That would be more of your oranges and your bright looking. This is heat staining that's caused from a gun heating up in the same fashion, or anything heating up in the same fashion over and over again, and continual heating up in that area. And in this example here, you'll notice the Night Valiant has a conflagration cannon where the reverse of what you just saw is true, where the bluing originates at the tip. And that's because in this example, the flame originates, the origin of the heat is at the tip of the gun in this case. So that's where you're going to get the bluing traveling back towards the rest of the weapon. And just one last thing I want to touch on before we get into the demonstration. When we're talking about a model like this where you're using a gold or a bronze over the weapon, I find that using washes to make blues and purples for heating doesn't really work well. It kind of gets muddied out over the brownish gold. So what I do instead is I take a black, in this case a Baden black dry brush, and I fade it as I get away from the barrel to signify scorching. I find that works best. So here we're going to begin painting just one of the Halverins that I have, the Armiger Halverins that I have in progress. So I'm going to start with Dragunov Nightshade, and I'm going to apply that again like I described earlier, just to the ends where they're closest to the chamber. You can be quite liberal with it. You want it to be a really strong blue when it's close to the chamber, and then you want it to be thinner as it goes away. Okay, so this is actually a different Halverin that I've been working on. This one already had a layer applied of Dragunov Nightshade, so I applied a second one just to make it a little brighter, and now we're going to go over and apply the next layer of Druchii Violet. You want to overlap it just a little bit, and then again you want to make it faded as it goes towards the barrel where it would naturally be cooler. You can use any blues and violet washes or inks. I just happen to prefer the Games Workshop line. Make sure you apply it evenly all around the barrel, and you're good to go. I just want to take a moment. If you enjoy some of the content you're seeing here, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on our Facebook page. The link is going to be in the description below for that. And also, if you like to support what I'm doing here and bring more great variety content to you, go ahead and check out our Patreon page and support us there. Any donation is greatly appreciated, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. So the next thing that we're going to do while we're just waiting for that to dry is I'm going to dry brush some black. I'm going to use a Baden black, and I'm going to apply this to the tip of the gun. And this is just going to, make it so that it looks like it's used. It's not like a brand new gun, obviously. So this is going to be like gunpowder residue that's built up at the tip of the barrel. I also do want to mention here that you can do this process over a clean barrel, shiny barrel. I do, in this case, I take Nuln oil, and I do 1 or 2 coats of Nuln oil depending on what model I'm working on, and then Agrax Earthshade to give it just kind of an industrial metal look, and then I apply this over it. I think if you do it over a clean, unstained barrel, you're going to get brighter colors. But again, I don't personally think that looks better. I like more of a worn barrel. So yep, I'm just building that up on the tips. Just my personal preference. You can go as dark or as light as you'd like. Just makes it look a little more realistic. And the last step in the process is to apply a brown hue over the barrel moving forward. I use Seraphim Sepia in this case. And the same process as before, rinse and repeat. You just apply a little bit, overlapping again. You want that overlap, that transition area. And you're just going to bring it away from the heat effect that you've already applied. Depending on the length of the barrel, like the example of the Space Wolves Imperial Knight at the beginning of the video, I took it almost all the way to the tip. That's going to be a personal preference again. This I didn't quite take it all the way. I don't, the way that I think this gun would work, I don't think it would get hot enough to transition that heat all the way to the tip of the barrel. And after it's dried, this is the outcome you get. I think it looks pretty good. Again, we got the blue to a violet to a yellowy brown, and then I went ahead and dry brushed black over the barrel. I hope you enjoyed this informational walkthrough on how to do heat staining on barrels. This can be applied to pretty much anything that would generate heat, most notably piping on biker model units or anything like that. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave some comments down below. Check out our Patreon, check out our Facebook, and we'll be bringing you more content in the future. Hope this is useful, and have a good day.